A big Battlefield 2042 update may be coming this week. Former Battlefield devs open up their new game to playtesters. The Steam Deck is everything Valve said it would be, and much more on Today in Gaming. Hey guys, LevelCap here. Battlefield 2042's next update is probably going live this week. It'll include a new scoreboard as the headline feature. A blog post with patch notes should be live on Wednesday with all of the info. Pending certification, the update itself will go live on Thursday. Of course, it would be a stretch to call the new scoreboard content, but this is the first update that's really adding a major feature to the game. All prior updates have either been focused on bug fixing or adjusting balance. From this update forward, we are expecting more substantive additions to the game like voice chat, new maps, new weapons, and more. The response to this update potentially going live is a bit mixed, but overall it seems like anything that moves the game closer to the expectation from fans is welcomed. DICE previously said that this update was the product of work done over the holiday break. Many of the bugs and issues that have been reported since then should be addressed. Former Battlefield and DICE developers launched their own studio and announced their first game, Arc Raiders, last year. It's an upcoming free-to-play third-person co-op shooter that throws you into a world dominated by massive machines. Today, they announced registration for the playtest is open. If you're 18 or older, you can sign up with your name and email on their website. They're offering both digital and in-person tests. It's unclear if console playtests will be available. The registration page shows an image of somebody using a mouse and keyboard, but the game is launching on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox, so chances are playtesting will be multi-platform. Maybe the bigger question is, well, what will the game actually be like, and if its monetization model will be favorable? Arc Raiders' reveal trailer was a flashy spectacle showcasing the game's massive scale in combat, but it's tough to say how close to actual gameplay the trailer is. The game is also being published by Nexon, who have a history of kind of over-monetizing their free-to-play games. That said, they're also the publisher for Final Fantasy XIV, which is one of the most well-regarded MMOs around right now. Ultimately, Arc Raiders looks like an epic mashup of Monster Hunter and third-person Battlefield. The playtest will probably coincide with actual gameplay footage in either a trailer or clips from participants. Hopefully, it lives up to the hype. Reviews of Valve's portable gaming console, the Steam Deck, flooded YouTube and gaming news sites over the past few days. The nearly universal consensus is that it's a best-in-class device for many reasons. The first is its pricing. The cheapest Steam Deck option is less than $500, which is half or even less than most competing portable PCs. On top of the low price, the Steam Deck's hardware is cutting edge and performs well enough to run most games at 60 FPS on low settings. Considering the screen's size and 720p resolution, you're not really giving anything up by reducing settings. Even the software experience is notably improved over competing products. SteamOS being based on Linux is certainly a bottleneck for AAA multiplayer titles like Apex Legends, Rainbow Six Siege, Battlefield, and Call of Duty, but the list of compatible games is growing every day, and nothing stops you from running a Windows install on the Steam Deck if you really want to. The biggest negative most reviewers pointed out was the buggy software. This is a first-gen product for Valve. That means stuff like the navigation can be a bit wonky at times. The Steam Store doesn't have an easy way of tracking down every Steam Deck compatible title, and the highlight features like Cloud Suspend and Resume only work in specific circumstances. All that said, it seems like the Steam Deck has a bright future. The real selling point for many gamers and developers is that the Steam Deck is the first PC gaming device built for portable gaming that's both accessible and convenient. And while other companies have made pretty good strides towards achieving similar things to Steam Deck, none of them have been able to do stuff like offer robust compatibility tools, hit affordable pricing points, or get the backing of major studios. Valve have genuinely created the Nintendo Switch for PC gaming, assuming that they can make enough of them to satisfy long-term demand. It's entirely possible that if Valve sells enough Steam Decks, developers will start making games with Steam Deck support and integration as a bigger priority. In other PC hardware news, GPU maker Nvidia was recently hacked. Industry analysts are saying the cyber attack that compromised Nvidia was a complete breach, meaning that the hackers potentially had access to all of Nvidia's data. This includes both hardware data and potentially personal information about employees or customers. The breach forced Nvidia to take parts of their online services offline for at least 2 days. It's unclear if the hackers left any malicious software on Nvidia servers or if they accessed stuff like driver updates. Nvidia are still investigating the breach to figure out what exactly the hackers got away with. Unfortunately for everyone, the hacking group that claimed responsibility for the attack was also attacked recently. So not only is Nvidia's data in the wrong hands, the data is likely getting spread far and wide across the internet. Reviews of action FPS Shadow Warrior 3 have been very positive. The game is a big departure from the previous title, Shadow Warrior 2. That game focused heavily on pseudo-open world co-op gameplay. The third game is a laser-focused single-player experience that draws heavy inspiration from Doom Eternal. And that's not a bad thing. Reviewers praise Shadow Warrior 3's fast-paced combat. It does away with the former game's RPG and roguelike mechanics in favor of a much more straightforward upgrade system and level design that points you like a cannon at arena-style fights. And despite the general praise for the game, most reviewers also point out the game's short runtime and lack of New Game Plus mode as a significant drawback. At most, you can expect 10 to 15 hours of gameplay, and that's if you do multiple playthroughs before completing everything there is to do. Some reviewers have also been critical of the game's hard mode since it's not that challenging. Shadow Warrior 3 launches tomorrow on PC and console. A new mod for Cyberpunk 2077 lets you play the whole game in VR. It's currently available on the creator's platform for paying subscribers, so it's not widely available yet. But early previews look very promising. Cyberpunk may not be the most revolutionary and immersive RPG ever created, but it's still an incredible looking game. Being able to play in VR takes it to a whole new level. The only roadblock is performance. The 1.5 update massively improved performance on PC, but you'll still be lucky to run the game above 60 FPS without carefully tweaking your settings. Throw in double the render hit with VR and you'll likely see things go sideways. Eurogamer says the mod runs roughly at 60 to 70 FPS with an RTX 3070, and that's well below the 90 FPS or above most VR titles require to keep you from feeling motion sick. But with some optimization settings or beefier hardware, more FPS seems possible, especially if you're willing to drop the resolution a bit. Halo Infinite may be getting multiplayer narrative content in future seasons. Developer 343 currently has a job listing on their site calling for developers that will create serial narrative content for Halo Infinite free-to-play updates. This content will expand on Halo's existing lore while adding new chapters to the franchise's larger story. Speculation suggests that these will be mini co-op campaigns like Halo 4's Spartan Ops, but it's anyone's guess right now. Infinite's campaign was a solid experience with a wide-open ending. It clearly set up the title for big story expansions. It's no surprise to hear that those expansions will tie into multiplayer, since Halo's campaigns and PvP are always closely integrated with each other. Before we get to our final story today, I just wanted to say thanks for tuning in. If you've been missing my live streams, be sure to get subscribed and enable notifications. It's a great way to reach out and ask me questions while I'm playing games and just check out the latest and coolest stuff that I've been playing. We also have channel membership options for emotes and priority chat messages if you'd like to take your support a step further. And as always, thank you for your continued support. Now let's get on to the final story. Call of Duty executives are being accused of using Activision Blizzard's workplace harassment controversy and acquisition by Microsoft to flatten their bank accounts. Two company shareholders filed lawsuits against the publisher claiming that they didn't disclose what was going on with the company. Another claim involves select executives like CEO Bobby Kotick getting big payouts, which creates a massive conflict of interest. And these lawsuits are pretty common in the shareholder world. Anytime an investment goes south, some investors will tend to pop up with a lawsuit of some kind, but this time around the circumstances are a lot more nuanced. It's unlikely that this particular suit or others filed against Activision Blizzard will result in anything more than a settlement. That said, the state of California's ongoing legal battle with the company is still well underway, and there's no telling what the future of Activision Blizzard will look like under the Xbox brand name. And that wraps it up for today in gaming. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.